You want to know how I actually got HIV, and I understand the curiosity. However, I wasn't ready to talk about it. I didn't know how to talk about it because I still hadn't processed what actually happened to me. On the night of March 12th, let's actually back up a little bit. The day before I was supposed to go on a date, I wanted to get tested first. I don't know why. I just felt like I wanted to get tested first. That's what I wanted to do. So I went to the clinic, and it took longer than expected. And so by the time that I was out of the clinic, my date was like that he couldn't do it because he wanted to have like an earlier dinner, an earlier night. So for us to just reschedule for the next day. And I said, okay. And I was also like an hour and a half late to dinner the next day anyway. We rescheduled for Tuesday. And that's how I just knew it was fate, it was destiny, it was something that was meant to happen, it was God's will. Because had I gone out to dinner that night, I wouldn't have met him. But who knows what would have happened. We go to dinner. At this point, I'm really trying not to drink. I explained to him that I'm not drinking any hard liquor, but I'm down to have wine. I've never really had wine before. I only did like tequila and Hennessy. And so I didn't realize that wine could get you as messed up, if not more.
We're going to get back into the episode, man. But, hey, I need y'all to go subscribe to my other channel, man. The person that comments first the most on that channel until we get to 1,000 subs will win $500, man. Y'all don't want to miss that. You feel what I'm saying? Also, when we hit 100K on this channel, I will be doing the $2,500 giveaway. So if you rock with the content, hey, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You feel what I'm saying? And I also will be doing a party in my home city, Birmingham, Alabama. So, like, hey, if you rock with me, pop out at the 100K party. It's going to be lit. If you in the city, we bringing the whole city out. I'm telling you, man. If you're not in the city, hey, fly out, take a vacation. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna light up Birmingham that night. You feel me? But, hey, hold up. Y'all hear that? Reaction. But yeah, let's get back into the video, man. Let's get 1,000 likes on the video, road to 1 million subs. Always remember, all things are possible to them that believe. Fam, let's get to the video.
Got me a bottle of the finest wine that they had at Nobu. A bottle. I didn't recognize the red flags, trust me. I didn't. I thought he was just being generous. I guess everything is going okay. At this point, I'm still pretty violent when I get drunk. I wasn't a happy drunk for a very long time, especially towards men. My anger was always geared towards men, for the most part. As we're leaving the restaurant, I'm already in and out of consciousness, so I'm not sure what's actually happening or how far I walk to get to the hotel. I do know that there's a bar downstairs and like in the lobby, and I get like a drink at the lobby as well, maybe two. It's embarrassing. And I'm not even gonna get into it, it's in my other video, but I had started working out and I started taking pre-workout and it was not sitting well. I'm like very lactose intolerant. If you know, you know. It just did not sit well. And he got mad. And so he kicks me out of the room. He's like, I can't deal with this. Like, this is not what I signed up for. He kicks me out of the hotel room and doesn't get me an Uber. I don't know if I even let him get me an Uber. Like, I really don't know. But it doesn't matter if I let him or not. He should have done it. Gotten me a cab, made sure that I got in it. I was very inebriated. I had no idea where I was. I begin to walk, I guess, and I'm not sure how far I walk. I don't know what happens, but I do know that I'm being followed. Like I said, I am very violent when it comes to men, especially when I'm drunk. Apparently I was being recorded. And I say apparently because like I remember a little bit of that, but not the whole thing. This guy crosses the street and he has like a phone in my face, and I guess he's trying to like really catch me like out here like slipping. I push his phone off, like he's holding it like this, and I like push it down and it falls. He curses me out a little bit, and then he gets it back up and he puts it in my face, and then I spit on him. And then when I spit on him, he punched me in the face. So at that point, I'm on the floor, knocked out. Like, he knocked me out.
Well, hold on. If you know you're a violent drunk and you do all of this when you get drunk, you should not drink a whole bottle of wine on a date. You should not do that. Just drink a glass or 2 glasses. You know what I'm saying? I know you say you didn't know wine get you drunk, but come on now. Us as grown men and women, we know that if we drink a whole bottle of wine, we're going to get lit. Even if we drink hard liquor. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Cold. The next thing I know, or the next thing I can remember, someone is picking me up. And at this point, there's a group of people. But someone is picking me up. And he's like, yo, are you okay? Are you good? I just remember his voice. I don't remember much of anything else, but it was Angel. That's not really his name, but that's what he introduced himself as. He picks me up from the ground, and he's like, I'm like stumbling on my steps. He hands me my purse, I guess. I don't know. I really don't remember that part of it. Like I said, he's with his friends. I later find out that these are not his friends. For the most part, these are just people that he does he used to do a podcast with. And by the way, the reason that I know that I was being filmed is because the guy who filmed me, once King Face passed away, and I started sharing my story on Instagram, he DM'd me and threatened to share this video if I didn't do an interview with him. It's crazy. At this point, they're like, how do we get this girl home? The best thing would have been to call me an Uber or a Lyft, but I don't know if they wanted to spend money on me or if they were broke. I'm not sure. It didn't feel like I was worth spending $1 on or $50 on an Uber or Lyft. So they decided that they were gonna be the ones to take me home, or he decided that he was gonna be the one to take me home. And I say that he was the one that decided to take me home because while we were on our way home, like his friends were like suggesting to leave me on the side of the road. And King Face was like, nah. Every single time he would ask me for my address, I would be like, suck my... I remember that. I laugh about it now because, yo, like, what was wrong with me? Like, what the heck? What was wrong with me? I guess he drops off everyone that he needs to drop off. And then I'm in the car with him. I don't know what happened in the car, but I do know that he didn't take me home. He didn't have a home to take me to anyway. We go to his place, and when I tell you that when we're entering his place, because you had to go through like, it was like a side door. I don't know why we couldn't go through the front door. He was moving anyway. When I was taking my steps to go into that place, I felt shadows just like closing in on me as I walked through the valleys of the shadows of death. Everything got pitch black, and I don't mean in a way.
I'm questioning if she just had wine that night or was it any other drugs, because the way she's explaining it, like she's saying stuff closing in on her and all of this, that sounds like she's on more of a heavier drug. You know what I'm saying?
Of like blacking out. Maybe I was blacking out of consciousness, but I'm telling you, it felt like death itself was like had consumed me. I thought I was going to die and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop what was about to happen. I enter and I don't remember much when I'm inside. It smells like dog piss. Like it literally felt like a trap house. Like someone was like squatting there. But anyway, it smelled like mad dog piss. He had 2 dogs. That's basically all I remember. Like going past like I guess the living room and then into the room, and I don't remember anything else after that. And I thought I was dead, but I wake up the next morning. My mind starts trying to put the pieces together. Like, am I dead? Am I okay? Because I felt off. I had a black eye. Like my head hurt, my body hurt. And then I start like fluttering, my eyes opened, and I don't recognize the room that I'm in. It's like red walls. I might as well have been in hell. I can't open my eyes, so I only was able to open one eye. I don't remember which one it was. And then that's when I start to cry, because I start to kind of remember what happened the night before, even like what happened with my date. Like there was just so much like things to unpack, and I was so embarrassed, was so scared, because I didn't recognize where I was. And I'm like, who am I with? I was just holding myself like this as I wept silently. And I guess not that silently, because Angel hears me. He comes behind me and he hugs me. He hugs me, he gives me a big embrace. And he's like, it's okay. I turn around and I see his face. For like a split second, I'm relieved because I'm cute. I just go into his arms and I just start weeping. And he's like, you could have died. He's like, you really could have died. Things could have ended up so much worse for you. He says, like, imagine if I wasn't there. Something worse could have happened to you. Thank goodness I was there.
So, like, she go explain all of this. Like, oh, it looked like a trap house. It feels like I'm going to the valley of the shadow of death, and it smells like piss. And then he holds me, but I turn around and he's cute, like, and I embrace him, like, Gigi, y'all heard? Chill, Gigi.
Manipulation started from the first second I gained consciousness. Once I grabbed my bearings a little bit, I realized that I didn't have any clothes on. And I'm like, did we have sex? And then his face just goes blank, like he's all ghost. And he was like, no, we didn't have sex. And then I'm just like, okay, like you don't have to lie to me. Like, fine, I realize that we had sex. I'm not wearing any clothes, and neither are you. Did you use protection with me? I need to know if you used protection, because I just got tested yesterday. And then he's like, well, of course we used protection. And I should have known then that he was a liar, because like he first said that we hadn't, and then he said that we did, and with a condom. I should have known. He was moving that day, and he decided for me to like spend the day with him. Like I could have gone home, I guess. I was scared to go home too, like just to see my parents, well, to see my mom, and then to have to explain to her what happened to me. Not something that I was like super excited to do right away. And to see my grandmother as well, because I knew she was gonna have 1,000 questions. He tells me that he'll drop me off at home like a little bit later for me to just run a few errands with him, and then he'll drop me off. The few errands was literally the entire day. I spent the entire day with him. It was really weird because he goes inside the store and he grabs an ice cup and he's like, yo, you gotta put this on your face. Like, it looks really, really bad. Then he picks up his best friend. I forget his name. Like Yayo something. He talks to Flip and he's like, yo, you still with Shorty? Like, that's crazy. Yo, last night was crazy. I just like start crying like here and there, like just like thinking about my face, how I'm not gonna be able to go to work for like at the very least a week. I was annoyed and I was in pain. It hurt so bad. My head was pounding. As we would drive, he would grab my hand and just hold my hand. If you had never been around this person, just by like his videos, like if you see his videos, he has like a pretty strong personality. That was something that I noticed right away, that he was not soft. Like, I felt like my will was bending towards, like that I had to submit towards. That's actually something that we talked about, because I know a lot of you people on here be like, oh yeah, that I probably just slept with him because I knew who he was. I didn't know who he was. I was dancing in the club. I didn't care about no politics, let alone a Black Republican. And in fact, he told me there was a lot of people that hated him, and for every good reason. Now that I know what I know, he thought that I was a setup. Hey, bro, I don't even know you. Like, I don't even know who you are. I'm King Face. And I'm like, ugh. I don't know that man. Another thing that I want to be very, very clear about that I wasn't in this whole storytelling is that I did not consent to sex. Part of the reason why I was scared to tell you guys or not ready to tell you guys is because I wasn't ready to admit to myself that I had been raped. I never consented to sex. And I even wonder, what did sex feel like or look like at that moment? Was I even awake? Was I just a body, just laying there? I didn't consent to this. So when people are like, oh, you should have gotten to, like, man, shut up. Because I didn't say yes to this. Again, this is all for God's glory at the end of the day, because look at me now. This was intended to be for God's glory. Because yes, this is the result of sin. But God calls all sinners. And he calls us by name. So through this, God will be glorified. I will speak and share the power of my testimony and the power of the grace and love of God. He finally drops me off at home. He calls me a few hours later and I didn't even know who it was. I pick up the phone and he's like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're okay. And I'm like, huh? Who's this? Yo, it's like, it's Face, it's King Face. And I'm like, oh, I had already forgotten about him. For the few days after that, I was love bombed by him. Weeks after that, I was like entirely love bombed by him. After like 2 weeks of me knowing him, he told me that he loved me. He really played on the strings of my heart very well. My will submitted to his. I guess a part of me fell in love with him, but really I don't.
So you just said that he R-worded you, and then you fell in love with him after the fact? Oh, maybe women, y'all would have to explain this better to me, but if you wake up knowing that you didn't consent to intimacy with someone, would it be smart to get in a relationship with that person? Or did you really consent to it? Who knows?
I don't know what it was. I was under a spell, I felt like, because I needed to leave him and I couldn't. I literally couldn't. That was the events of the night that I met the person that infected me with HIV. Did I get HIV that night? I'm not sure. I started getting symptoms about 3.5 weeks later. Like, actually it's March, dude. Oh my gosh. I meet him 6 days from today, 5 years ago. I started getting sick March 29th, March 30th. I spent many nights with him after that. And the months that followed, subsequently, I felt responsible for him. I felt like maybe I could change him. Maybe I could open him up to like getting on medication, to getting help. But no, his mind was made up. And I was just another pawn.
Wait, hold up. That's where a lot of the women go wrong at, when y'all think y'all can change someone. And I hear women say this all the time. You are not God. You cannot change no one. If that person you met is a certain way, if you're not willing to deal with that, you better leave at that moment. Don't think in your mind that you have the power to change anyone. And that goes for guys as well. Point blank, period. I need to create a shirt that just say point blank on it. Point blank. Give me.
It's still hard to really grasp that he never really cared about me, because he played the part so good, so well. But the truth is that he never cared. He never cared. He just cared about himself, feeling like a hero and a villain at the same time. I thought that I would feel like anger. I feel disgust, mainly. There is nothing to forgive to that man, because vengeance is not mine, it's of the Lord's. There is much peace in my heart right now. I hope I honored my grandmother today. The truth will be told at some point. And even if it's not, God will always remember. Also, to the people in the comments that helped me get to this place. Because the first time I spoke about my HIV story, I had not yet processed that I was. I had not yet processed that I had sex with someone unwillingly, unconsenting, the night that I met the person that infected me with HIV. Yes, it was the result of sin, but I took on the full blame because it was something that I could control. It was a narrative that I could control much better than the narrative of saying I had no control. And I was a victim to this person. And that was something that my brain was not ready to accept. I keep on thinking of blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. I'm finally here at this place where I'm not afraid to say that Kingface raped me and that I did not consent with him that night. I went into our relationship feeling like I owed him my life. So it was very complex, you see. He knew exactly what he was doing. I wasn't the first person he'd done this to. I'm not saying about...
All right, that's the end of the story, guys. But like I say, I feel bad that she has that disease. I mean, nobody deserves that, no matter how many mistakes she made, because we've all made mistakes where we've, messed with people unprotected and things like that. We've all made those mistakes, and I don't believe nobody deserves to get that disease, but there is consequences to every action, and though that was just a terrible consequence. And on the other note, I feel like if she was R-worded, that's obviously not right. I feel like obviously it always should be consent. But the thing I don't agree with is you get in a relationship with someone who R-worded you. And honestly, if it was cut off at that night, there's a possibility that you may not have contracted it on the first time. But when you get in a relationship with someone, now you're having intimate relations multiple times, and it probably was contracted on a whole nother date. You know what I'm saying? So that first time, if God give you a sign and say, you did not consent, that's him telling you, get out of there. But, hopefully, something good comes out of it for her, and may God bless her on her journey with God. It seems like she found God or whatnot. And yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think about the video in the comments, man. See you guys next video. Always remember, be safe, kings and queens. Let's get it.